Okay, welcome to this ESS branch, and this is our Athens branch. And so I tried to keep it not too long, but just to make a general introduction. My name is Thorsten Knaub, and I'm we organizing the summer school with Gerasimo in Athens from the ESS board, and I just wanted to go through a bit what was happening there in general, that some people who maybe want to come on. And I just try to share my screen now. Uh, okay, I think you can see I just go to the website to go through some basic ideas what's gonna happen, and so you also know where the website is, Summer School. Um, so we have at this time 23, 26th of July in Athens. The important thing is, or different thing is, it's the 20th anniversary this time from the summer schools. The first one was in 2006 in London. So this also, of course, we inspired by that, had a maybe slightly different programming than we might have had. And we are at the college at the venue. I go to the venues. If you, sorry, if you get an idea of Athens, where the central area is somewhere around here, Acropolis, and our colleges are a few minutes away with the metro. This is a New York college, which we can use. And then we have um, a couple of, let's just go to the teachers, or let's stay with the venues a bit, because we will have one concert at the embassy, which is a bit further out. And we will have two concerts at the Parnassus Literary Society. This is quite in the center of Athens. And if I just go to the teacher page now, from Japan, we will have Ashigaki Kōmei from the Shikumeisha school, and we will have Jin Rei, which represents the Jin Nyodo lineage. Of course, we will look at in during this branch, we will play a clip and we will talk more about that. With just a quick overview, and then we have our teachers, from Europe, Horacio Curti, Yerasimos, Jim Franklin, Philip Horan, myself, Gunnar, Jinmei, Linder, Véronique Piron, and Emmanuelle Rouaud. Then we have some Fumi Hirare, who will provide all the koto and shamisen accompaniments. Will also be available during the workshops, of course, and for the concerts. And we have also our special commission again, which we had already in Finland with Marty Regan. And this time we have Ramon Hume, who will do a new work for Athens, a group piece, or yeah, it's open to him, which will then premiere at the second concert at the Parnassus Hall on the Saturday. So if I just have a look at the schedule, maybe. Again, we like usually at summer schools we have for every level we have for total beginners we have elementary, intermediate, and advanced, and we have also sessions for mixed people, mixed ability levels, and in general for this summer school we will have access to about 8, 9 rooms, so there will be about 4 or 5 teaching rooms, which have parallel sessions then, and there will always be constantly one room dedicated to beginners, and you can see there we try to arrange that there's almost something for each level available at each time. Of course, the levels is just a guide. I mean, you can, like, you understand this is it's just to give you an idea and the teacher an idea of what you might expect for the participants. So the speed of teaching or the depth of detail. And in the first day, we wanted to have a bit of introduction to all the different schools available. And as I said, the first day will also be the embassy concert. So we will have to travel a bit further, but this will be organized with a bus. So, and the second day, again, we have also individual lessons you can take. These are short slots, but still, there's not more time, and so people can maybe have a chance to have a short time with the one teacher individually. And then we have a Greek theme, Greek sessions. Yerasimos will talk about it later a bit more. The teachers will talk about the specifics. I just talk about the general layout. Again, we have more individual lessons. We have every day we have the beginners lessons, and one important thing to mention, because I mentioned the concerts, but of course we will also have the open mic concert, which is for the participants. So we will have 4 of them each lunchtime. So they're each time about a half an hour, and some you can sign up on the day. Some will be maybe pre-organized. So this information will come out later maybe in June. And of course, important is also we will have at the very end we will have the concert for what happened during the workshops, the participants' concerts. And because it's the anniversary, also we will have a get together in a restaurant after, with raffle, with many other things happening, maybe music playing. We will see the exact programming still, but it was just to be said, we try to do the anniversary celebrations a bit around the usual programming. And sometimes people ask questions like by email, and for example, for the scores and for the music. Yes, we will provide score and music, and this will maybe available early June. That's we're collecting it all in the moment. And so for the moment, you can use the schedule to try to work out already a program for you. And of course, there will be rehearsals for the group piece there in the morning. And yeah, so these are, and we also have a couple of rooms which can be used for rehearsals or for practicing alone. Okay. Otherwise, on the website, and there's also the information, of course, about the whole pricing and of the summer school cost. You can get day passes, and to register, you just have to fill out the online form, and there will be all the other questions hopefully answered. Just check my time. Okay. Is there any particular question for that in the moment, about the general summer school? That's good. Okay. Then I will just.
Maybe late. I can always ask one question.
That's good.
It's highly interesting for some of us, not to which teacher, but which pieces are going to be played. So when are we to expect the names of the pieces and maybe the music of the pieces to be played?
For the concert, you mean?
No, also for the lessons.
For the lessons, everything is on the. either I misunderstand or let me just check again where
The
we
name
are.
of the pieces are in the schedule.
I had no time to look at that for the moment, a bit busy. It's on my to-do list for next week, but maybe I'm too quick with my question. Sorry.
Yes, yes. I mean, the all the pieces are on the schedule page, obviously on the schedule, but then there's also on the schedule page is a list of all the pieces and all the activities, what's happening just in as text. Hmm. And the concert programming we kind of finalized now, and we will become available after we checked it through with everybody in a couple of weeks also. Okay. Okay, if there's no general question, then I just may jump to, I'm trying to do my presentation here, what I'm trying to do at the summer school. So what will I do? I will do a couple of things. One thing is I'm a shakuhachi maker, so I will have a session on the, maybe I can share a video for that, just to talk while the video is there. Um, sorry, the share. So yes, I will try to have a session about shakuhachi making, jiari shakuhachi making, and of course it's impossible to to do a whole kind of flute at this point in this short time. And so what I will do is I will just probably I will do a session on utagushi making. So we just go through the whole process of how to, prepare the bamboo there, measure it, how to do the insert, and how to cut the otagushi. I mean, so we will just go through that, and this either can be a demonstration or later on, if I put some more out information, if people have tools and they want to try, they of course they can try it actually. I mean, I will not be able to provide many tools except for mainly for the demonstrations. And yeah, so that's on. Of course, there can also be a general session on if there's any other questions or anything about the GRE making. I will try to help. And but this is focusing is on the otagushi and how it's also a bit about its function and about why it is like it is and how to do it basically. Okay. The other session I will do will be around the idea of image and improvisation. I just try to load another video there. Again, there's two elements to it. There is like one room for one day is dedicated to a kind of environment where the film shown or the visual imagery and people can explore for themselves to I just show like an example. There's like this kind of silent movie clip and people can just experiment themselves to various movie clips to improvise. This is kind of the DIY kind of part of it, which is not taught or anything. And then there is I do 1 hour, one session or one slot, one teaching slot, where we will look at more the ideas about how we can explore sound and how we can try to translate what we see into how to find imagine sound and how to find it maybe. This is it's not about level in particular, it's more about try to find your own sound and try to shape it like you want it. So it's about these kind of ideas and about following kind of visual clues. And so it could be is if I show the example here with a bit of sound. It can be simple tones, but anyway, so that's the basic idea to go try to imagine sound with image, and we will explore that a bit. And I think that's there's no any particular question now. That's it for me.
Hello, and thank you for the invitation. I was wondering if we could buy any instruments.
Sorry, who's speaking?
Did you hear me? Hello? Hello? Did you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, but I couldn't see who's speaking, so I was going.
Okay, I have problem with my camera.
Ah, okay, you are the estimate. Hello, yes, yes.
I'll
yes.
try it comes on and off. Yes.
Yes.
Apologies for that.
Oh, no,
not
it's
a-
okay.
it's,
So-
I was just wondering if we could buy any instruments.
At the summer school,
Yeah.
yes, usually, and this time.
Or any advice on how to buy an instrument.
Yes, I think you can talk to all the teachers there, and I'm sure everybody has good ideas there of what you should take care about. And there is like an area where people offer either instruments from Japan or instruments like myself who makes instruments, and so there will be like a shop area, so. Yeah, so there's possibilities to try out, to talk about, and to let other people test, and yeah, there's a lot of possibilities usually.
Great. Thank you. Thanks.
Thorsten,
Yeah,
I have an idea because I heard about your workshop about the utaguchi making, and maybe if you don't have enough tools, if people would like to make their own utaguchi, maybe you should write a list of what exactly will be needed, so those who want bring their own bamboo and tools so that they can make it there.
yeah, no, I was thinking about but yeah, we can once now the participation becomes more clear who's signing up. I will send something out maybe end of May or something, yeah, or that we can check if people want and they can collect it. We can make a list of tools what they might need. They can even order it from Magiro or somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Great. Good.
Follow up there then. When is material available for participants? I mean, scores and MP3 files, etc.
When it is available?
Yes.
Once we received it from all the teachers, we will have to compile a bit and double check, and then we aim for early June, beginning of June.
So I think it's important to know for participants when can they start working on. Of course, maybe they see the name of the piece, they have some material on YouTube, etc. But still, when the material will be available, it might be good even to put some kind of information on the home. Maybe there is already.
There is actually on the website.
Yeah.
There is like a little box on the under the schedule somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
But good to clarify. Yeah. Okay. maybe because we have a lot of program, maybe if question they can come back later as well. So maybe I just pass over to Gunnar and I give him. You have the screen share option now.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, I will start sharing. I will go maybe back and forth between sharing and playing a little bit. Can you see this? Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is visible?
Yes.
Good. So yeah, so I will represent Kinkoryu and the Chikumeisha within Kinkoryu. This is a photo. I received this imperial order in February this year, so very special occasion. So for this year's ESS Summer School, there will be a little bit of a focus on the style of Chikumeisha, and so I will take some parts of it together with my colleague and friend Ashigaki Kōmei. I will say a little bit more about him at the end. We go way back. I met him in like 30 years ago, something like that. So I will say a few more things about him, but I will start then to maybe some of you who are here, some of you know very well what I will talk about, I think, but for those who have not studied Kinko and not so maybe Shakuhachi to begin with, I would say a few words about what I find to be typical for not only for Kinkoryu but for the older traditional music of Japan, not only even Shakuhachi. But first, the Kinkoryu is actually the oldest formally established tradition. The Kurosawa Kinko was active in the 18th century. Then his son took over, Kinko III, his grandson, Kinko III. Kinko IV was actually the brother of Kinko III, but he was, according to historical text, he was not very accomplished on the Shakuhachi, and he was apparently not very interested in continuing to lead the Kinkoryu, the Kinko school. So instead, another student of Kinko III, Hisamatsu Fuyu, took over as head. He was very much into the so-called the blood lineage. He didn't take the name Kinko because he felt, I'm not like a son or grandson of or family related to the Kurosawa, so he kept his name. There was another guy actually at the time in the 1830s who tried to take the name Kinko, and that made Hisamatsu Fuyu furious. He wrote a very, very strong text about poison spreading in the world of Shakuhachi, and because this guy took the name Kinko without being family. So he was very, Hisamatsu Fuyu was very strict in many ways, maybe. After that, Yoshida Ichio and Araki Kodo, two very important Shakuhachi players of the time, because they actually brought the Shakuhachi over from the Edo period into the Meiji period in the 1870s. There was a strong anti-Buddhist movement at the time, and the Shakuhachi, being connected to Zen Buddhism, was about to be abolished. It was the Komoso, as you probably know, were abolished in 1871, and there was temples destroyed, Buddha statues destroyed, etc. So the Shakuhachi was at the risk of being totally forbidden. But Yoshida Ichio, especially, he was talking to the new government and explained about what the shakuhachi is. The musical instrument is a very important musical instrument in Japan, blah, blah, blah. And it was allowed to be continued. He actually explained the uses of Honkyoku, because Honkyoku had connection to Zen Buddhism, but he explained that in terms of being more like etudes for shakuhachi players. Now, enough of that. Araki Kodo taught Kawase Junsku, who established the Chikuyusha within Kinkoryu, and then Yamaguchi Shiro studied with Kawase Junsku, and then he broke off from that and established the Chikumeisha. In Japan, as you probably know, it's quite common to have this Iemoto Seido, but with the one person, head of the family, so to speak, who is both the artistic, but also in many cases also the social leader or the moral leader, etc., of the students in like a family tree. But when Yamaguchi Goro passed away in 1999, there was no one actually who wanted to take over as Iemoto. So instead, it was established as an organization, association. So we've had directors following Goro-sensei's passing in 1999. First Matsumura Kōmei, and then Tanaka Kōmei, and presently Mizuno Kōmei. I put their kanji in because there's a lot of ko. Japanese characters have, there are many homophones in the Japanese language. Ashigaki Kōmei, that's another ko, but a totally different character. Matsumura Kōmei passed away in 2013. Tanaka Kōmei and Mizuno Kōmei are still active and still along and actively taking part in the activities. So that's a very brief outline of the style per se. Kinkuryu, I say, but it's actually features of a lot of the traditional music. With traditional music, I refer to music with an origin in the Edo period or before. I'm sure you all know the concept of kata. In martial arts, you have it in stage arts. It's more or less formalized patterns of movement. But you also have this concept in music, and there I would refer to as a formalized sound packages. Kinkuryu there is no melody in the Kinkuryu Honkyoku. There are kata. And I perceive of the kata as constituting the smallest unit with musical meaning. You can analyze a kata in smaller units like ornaments, pitch bendings, of course individual sounds, etc. But when it comes to the musical meaning, the kata is the smallest structural unit. I prefer to refer to it as a phrase. In Japanese, it's a kata or even an onku, a sound phrase, sound passage, whatever you would like to say. There are repetitive patterns within each kata. It's not limited to be played in one breath. Some of these kata are pretty long. It's more or less impossible to play in one breath. And it doesn't make music, musically it doesn't have a meaning necessarily to play it in one breath. Some kata consist of just one sound. Within the phrases, within the kata, there are extensive individual variations. But of course, you have to learn the kata before you get the freedom of using your own idiomatic expression of that kata. Kinkuryu tends to be highly ornamented. You can hear that because Thorsten has prepared a video of Ashigaki Kōmei at the end, so you get a little bit more of an understanding. I will not play a piece, I will just give some examples later on. But you can hear in the performance of Ashigaki Kōmei the highly ornamented style. As I said, you learn the kata. The scores are not prescriptive per se, because you have to learn the piece. The scores, the notation for Kinkuryu is only an indication, the skeleton, the basic outline of the kata, but then how you actually perform them, how you actually play them is something you will have to learn. It's not in the notation. I sometimes jokingly say that always play what's not written in the score and don't play what's written there. Well, it's a little bit exaggerated expression, but you have to know the piece before you can use the score and play it, so to speak. Kata. In Kinkuryu, according to Tsukitani Tsunuko, one of the great scholars on Shakuhachi, actually in Japan, she counted the Kinkuryu. Actually, she didn't count all the pieces. She chose 18 of the 36 honkyoku in Kinkuryu, and she counted the kata, not counting two for the two octaves, the registers, kan and otsu, And she came up with the number 356. I have also looked at the other 18 pieces, and I come up with approximately 390. There are some kata that's specific for only this piece. There are a few kata appears in 2 or 3 pieces, but not commonly used, so to speak. So my recount puts the number at approximately 390 kata. It's not important. It's a limited number, but it's quite a vast number. And you will have to learn these kata. So I think Kinkoryu tends to have the threshold value, so to speak. It maybe takes a little bit more time to get into how the kata works before you get that kind of freedom of playing with your own idiomatic expression. On the other hand, it will take time to learn whatever style you are playing. So, yeah, there we are. Another important feature is rhythmical elements. Another very famous scholar, musicologist in Japan, Koizumi Fumio, he wrote a book where he's explaining about not only shakuhachi, of course, any kind of music with an origin in Edo or before Edo period. There's no strong, weak relation in the rhythm, but these are aspects of musical expression, dynamics. Instead, he talks about, and these are concepts used in a lot of other genres, the omote haku, the ura haku. You can translate them as front and back. And these are terms used in nagauta for the kabuki theater, the no music, of course also in the jiuta sokyoku, the music, ensemble music with shakuhachi, but for strings, the shamisen and koto music. These terms are used, but they're, I would say, especially in the Kinkoryu notation, the position is graphically included, so to speak. The rhythm unfolds as a metronome, going from left ura to right omote, and only when you have a beat mark, the left side here you have the 2 lower ones in gray, indicating that there's nothing happening there, but you still have to turn there, so it's like a turning point. And only when you have a clear beat mark, something will happen. So here you have a tsu and a re, and then you have 2 repetitions. So it will be tsu, re, 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 like. So it just unfolds like a metronome. So the ura omote is very graphically represented in the Kinko notation. Now the ma, as we talked about, going from ura to omote, that is one time interval. It's called a ma in Japanese. Some people have claimed or may claim that ma is the silence between phrases, but that's not totally correct, because ma is actually a time interval with sound or without sound. And in other genres of traditional music, they talk about the ma as this, as a time interval, the unfolding of the sound or unfolding of silence. So in the Kinko scores, the positions are fixed, but the time to move from the ura to the omote tends to expand or shrink. So you don't talk about changes of tempo or anything like that, but actually talk about how time expands, nobiru, or shrinks, chijimu. And again, these are concepts not only used for in Kinkoryu, it's used in a variety of other genres, again with an origin in the Edo period or before. My teacher would clap the beats when he was teaching, and he would sing the score. This is the beginning of Hifun no Shirabe. And here you can see what he would do. He would clap A and B, C, D, how the metronome evolves. And you can see only when you have, here you have the things happening. The A is something starts, the tsu, tsunomeri. B is to go to a ro. C is just an expansion of that note, etc. But it goes like that. Same with the next phrase. As I said, Goro-sensei would clap. He would also indicate with his fingers the pitch variations, like the bending down, etc., with his fingers. And that was his teaching. He would sing and clap these beats. And to understand how that works and how the time actually expands and shrinks, I will play for you a short part. It's 45 seconds, these two phrases sung by Yamaguchi Goro and played on the Shakuhachi by Takemura Kōmei. Look at the screen because I'm indicating the time with the arrows so you can actually see how time evolves. Oh. Sorry, there was a delay with the sound file, so it didn't really fit. I've been working on getting these arrows move with the song, but there was a little bit delay in the sound file. But I hope you got the idea anyway. The time it takes to move from one point to the other is not unified. There is change. And the ma, the time interval, expands and shrinks, I would say very much based on dynamics and ornaments. These are the defining characters of the actual ma. And here it comes, of course, also aspects of how the idiomatic expression works. In the Honkyoku solo pieces, but this actually is the same for ensemble music, for example. I hope now there will be no time lag because that will kind of destroy the effect. It's not 4 minutes, it's going to be 1.5 minutes approximately. This is the very beginning of a piece called Shiki no Nagame with koto, shamisen, and song. I will not indicate with arrows here, but only with the pitches where you see the omote and the ura. So I hope you can follow. I hope there will be no time delay here now. We'll see how it works. Look at the screen, please. I have to do this. This. Can I do this again? Hopefully it will work better. We'll try again. Continue to share. Up there, so I hope you get the idea of how the time interval, time actually changes. Of course, it will stabilize as in this piece part. In the beginning, like here, it tends to be more anxious, and also in other parts where the song reoccurs, so to speak. And then when you get into more stable rhythm, of course, you also have these parts. I don't know how much time I have. We started a bit later than scheduled, I think. Can I get a few more minutes?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, okay. So just a few comments about the actual scores then. What I said, what is not notated is not what is played. Just some examples of what you actually do. So here, when it's written a re in the beginning of a phrase, you actually play then or this is just one example of this kind of learned patterns. In Kinko-ryu also, when you have repetition of re, you use finger 1. In some other schools, you'll use 3, I guess, mostly. In Kinko-ryu, actually, you use both 4, 3, 2, and 1, but the default is with finger 1. So the first pattern with 2 repetitions would be and the second pattern to the right, where you have a nayashi in Kinko-ryu on the Chikumeisha style. Basically, the default value when you have a nayashi is that you take a breath before the nayashi. Like that. Another common pattern is when it's notated as tsure, you actually play it with a tsunomeri, tsu, and re. And one thing which is very typical for Goro sensei's style is that when he moved upwards on from a lower to a higher pitch, he would not, for example here on the re, he would not do the atari, the attack on re, but on the tsu, which is like the pausing note. He usually would make an atari, an attack, when there was a meri note, and he very often did when he was going from a higher to a lower pitch, even on a open hole pitch, so to speak, but not in the upwards movement. So here it will sound like tsu, tsure with the attack on the tsu in between, so to speak. But this pattern can also be performed in other ways with a bending in between the tsunomeri and the tsu. So another possible way of playing it could be and the actual timing of this merikomi, the pitch bend between the tsunomeri and the tsu, can differ, and you will have slightly deeper bend and more expanded time. So how you actually perform this pattern notated as tsure will depend on where you are in the piece, what part, and if you have this pattern repeated in continuation, so to speak, you might want to change. And these are parts of like this idiomatic aspect of the expression. Let's see here. Yes, the notated part. The same goes with other phrases. Again, with he, you will add an ornament before, which is not written in, but depending on how it's written, in the second case here, where you don't add this little ornament san no u, so the actually played patterns, the first one will then be and the second one, the lower one, will just be with a trill on the akehi. So there is actually played more or less as it is written. If you can see the difference here on what is notated to the left of the page and what I show now, where you have the beat mark for the he, there you also have a meri Kōmei. So if you have a beat mark for the he, you will actually also add the san no u. So this pattern will sound like. But then on the other hand, if you go, instead of going to an akehi, you go to a chi no meri, you will do not a meri Kōmei, but rather a suriage, raising the pitch. And here you will also do a meri Kōmei suriage no keshi at the end, not only the suriage as I did with the akehi. But here you will, of course, also add the sanu at the beginning. So it will sound more like this. So basically what you need to do is learn the piece and use the score as a memo. It's a very good idea to actually make copies of the score, to write in the details when you learn a piece, but then you have to let go of that, because you should reach a level eventually where you get the freedom of how do I actually want to express this phrase.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the notated versions, and what you then actually play is slightly different. So finally, a few words about Ashigaki Kōmei. We studied together at Tokyo Geidai. I was there from 93 to 97. I did my master's, did that in 97. I think Ashigaki Kōmei did his master in 99 or 2000, something like that. He studied mainly he studies with Tanaka Kōmei, who's, one of the top students of Yamaguchi Goro at Geidai. Of course, he also studied with Yamaguchi Goro, also with Kase Junsuke III and Yamamoto Hosan. And Yamamoto Hosan was there when I was there as well. He is a very accomplished player. He's hardcore professional in Japan, working a lot, performing a lot. Very nice guy. And his mother is quite famous koto shamisen teacher, Ashigaki Miho, one of the top players of the Miyagi school of Jiuta Sokyoku. Yes, I think that is enough. Ashigaki actually took over my students when I left Japan in 2005. He took over my private lessons students and also my group lessons at culture centers where I was teaching. So we have a long history going back. Yeah, so that's all what I wanted to say. Thank you for your attention. And then I guess Thorsten, well, if you have any questions, I haven't been able to see in the chat. But
No, I don't think there is. If there's any question, thank you, Gunnar. Yeah, and otherwise I just play the clip.
Yeah.
And people can think about the question while. Just 1 second. So this is from Ashigaki.
Yeah, you had this. Was playing Tsukino Kyoku or something like that, right?
And I will just go somewhere in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. So you get an idea of the Chikumeisha style, I would say, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, very well chosen, because you could hear some of the aspects I brought up in the tsure and the nayashis and the repetition on re, etc. So well chosen part of that piece.
Good.
I can say one more thing to just at the end, because the Kinkoryu Honkyoku tends to be very long. It takes time. You have to grow into the piece. I mean, most of them are between 15 and 30 minutes. The longest one is more than 1 hour. There are a few who are between 5 and 10 minutes, but it's only a handful. So that's another aspect of Kinkoryu, that it's, 15, 20, 25 minutes is rather common in the Kinkoryu Honkyoku. The piece for more than an hour, it's quite a special experience to play that. I played it several times. I performed it twice, and I have played it many times in lessons. It's amazing when you play 20 minutes and you realize you have another 40 minutes to go. And then when you finish, you suddenly can't understand what happened to time. So it's actually get into another dimension here. So yeah, that's thank you for.
Okay, thank you, Gunnar. Thank you very much. And while we have to move on swiftly to Véronique Piron, give us a bit of an introduction. Thank you. You need to share the screen.
Yes, I need to share the audio and maybe the screen as well. Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody, and thanks, Gunnar, for all those details. Very nice.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm Véronique Piron, and from France, and I'm coming from the Yokoyama Katsuya lineage. And for the summer school, I'm not teaching the Kokusai Shakuhachi Kenchukan Honkyoku. I'm mostly teaching images of Japan with minyo. So this is the folk traditional music of Japan in 3 different ways. First, we will travel from south of Japan with the islands, Kyushu and Okinawa, and pieces from north of Japan, north of Honshu, not Hokkaido. So I'm starting with the first pieces for people from what we call elementary levels. So I choose a composition. It's not a minyo. It's an image of south of Japan where it's very hot. There are many islands. So the tempo of the pieces most of the time are quite slow, and the pieces are coming as a duet with the koto. So this is a good chance for people with elementary levels to play with another instrument. This is the traditional sitar, Japanese sitar. And the piece is from a composer called Fukushima Yujiro, who wrote many pieces on minyo, or the image of it. And the piece here is called Nantou Tansai no Fu. Just a moment. I have to open something. Yes. This piece is coming in, there is 6 parts, and we are going to look at number 4, 5, and 6. Because on those pieces we are using the ro to lei notation, so we don't need to use the meri, and also it's written for 1.8, so it just fits perfectly the situation. I would like to let you hear some of the music. I just have to check the time. Then I'm going to we are going to hear the start of those three pieces. The first one is from is the image of Okinawa, and the title is Pretty Bride. The second one is the image of the Kyushu, so it's a bit norther, and it's called Ghost. This is in English. Ghost in the Gajumaru Tree. And the sixth part, which is the last one, is just island sleeps, just an image. So let's just have some sound here. I'm going to the second piece. And the third one. Okay, can you hear me? Okay. I don't have this in my computer. I'm just going to show you the notation I'm using for all the pieces. I'm using the Kinko notation. And here, this is Shakuhachi and Koto duet. So this is just what we've heard before. On the right side, you have the Shakuhachi line here. This is just normal writing. And in smaller writing, you have the koto part. So it's possible to follow the koto part. And of course, it's written not in the koto style of writing the music, because it's a numbered notation. This is the rotsure, so shakuhachi notation, to be able to follow what the koto is playing. So it's coming from a duet. So those are the 3 pieces for elementary level. So I hope you enjoyed. It's very nice. It's also very expressive. So it's not just for elementary level. If you like to work on expression, it's possible with very easy elements. And now we are in south of Japan, and now we go to north of Japan. And this is concerning all levels. I will teach some minyo pieces. So this is really the traditional folk song. So it's folk, song, it's song. All the minyo is coming from the song. So we always have a text and a song. So we are supposed to play the same as the singer. We will play mainly 2 pieces. One is Yamauta. Yamauta is a style of playing where there is just a singer and the flute. So it could be shakuhachi, and sometimes it can be the little transverse bamboo flute, shinobue. It depends of the piece. And of course here it's shakuhachi, where we follow the voice. So this is not the shakuhachi solo, it's the shakuhachi which is following the voice. And in Hatten we will practice with Fumiye Hihara. So we will practice, of course, the shakuhachi part, and then when she will join, we will learn how to follow the voice. This is really an exercise. So I can show you here. I have to share my screen. Blah, blah, blah. Can you see the notation? Because it's not. Okay, nice. So this is the notation I will use for all the minyo pieces, actually, the style of notation. So it's the rotsure kinko style of writing. Here it's the Natsu no Yama Uta. So it's the kind of piece I was just talking before, where the shakuhachi is going to follow the voice. And it's without rhythm, because we don't have shamisen. When the traditional popular music is accompanied with the shamisen, we have a tempo, a rhythm. And when we are just following the voice, it's kind of free rhythm. It's not really free, but it's the style where we have long notes and we are following also the vibrato of the voice. So we can listen to one interpretation. So you have seen that the Shakuhachi is starting the piece, and then we have Shakuhachi and voice. Here the voice is notated. So it's quite an exercise to be able to follow the voice. I'm going to up. The second mini piece I'm going to teach. So this is coming from the Natsuno Yamauta is from Miyagi Prefecture. This is Sendai area. And we have next piece is Mamuro Gawa Ondo. Ondo is a dance. So here we have the shamisen. And it's coming from the next prefecture. This is Yamagata. Here I'm also using the same kind of notation. I don't have it on my computer. Where is it? So this is the notation. Mamoru Gawa Ondo. It's written with the Rotsure notation, and we have very simple rhythm marks here. But this is a dance, and we are going to play with the dance rhythm, which is called Odori Biyoshi in Japanese. Odori is the dance. So it's unequal rhythm. We're just going to hear the piece. So this is the second piece we are going to play with the shamisen. Then if we have time, I'm going to add a third one. This is Shin Soma Bushi from Fukushima area, which is using actually both style of minyo, where we have shamisen accompanying with the rhythm, and some kind of solo part for the voice, where we are just following the voice without rhythm. If we have time, we will try to play that one as well. And the third slot of teaching is concerning composition from the minyo to shakuhachi trio or quartet. I will use the trio version here. This is a composition of Seki Ichiro. It's a composition from Seki Ichiro, and the name is Nihon Minyo no Yoru. It means Japanese folk songs, from the Japanese folk songs. This composition is coming in four parts, and we are going to practice the the first one and the fourth one. And if we have time, maybe a little bit of the second one. So the first part is Mogami Gawa Uta. It refers to a folk song coming from the Yamagata prefecture. We can listen to just a bit of it. Okay, so this recording is coming from a very well-known minyo player he's already died, which is called Yoneya Iwao. So this is here a Shakuhachi solo, and Seki Ichiro wrote in 4 parts like this. So Mogami Gawa Uta is a story of boat. And this is for Shakuhachi, it's 2.8 and 2.4. But there is a version in trio, just sorry. Up. This one. Just a little bit. Okay, so maybe you've heard that it's not all shakuhachi. This is a trio with a silver flute, the didzi, the Chinese flute. So this is very special sound, and one shakuhachi. So I'm going to use this version for Athens. So we will have 2 1.8 and 1 2.4. So I hope some people will enjoy to play the 2.4 part as well. And I'm going to teach as well the 4th part of that piece. This is O Temoyan. Temoyan is coming from the south of Japan in Kyushu. This is, of course, a folk song. Just let's hear a part of it. Okay, so this is the original interpretation with shamisen, taiko, shakuhachi, and voice. And here I will You will hear a little bit of. Okay, that's it. So the atmosphere is a little bit different, and this is a faster tempo. For this music, I'm using the original notation of Sekeiichiro-san, which is coming in 4 parts. And there are 2 possibilities. This is a Kinko version, and there is also, if some people need, the Tozan version. So a little bit different. Reading the notation is a little bit different. I will rearrange the 3rd part to be able to play with a 2.4. So that's it. This is more intermediate and advanced level. So I hope you will enjoy this music. I don't know if you have any question.
Okay, thank you very much, Véronique. Great. Is there any immediate question or some question afterwards? Because we...
just a brief question. Oops. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I forgot. Did you say 2.4 and 1.8, or did you say some other length?
Yeah. There are 1 point line. What do you say? Yes, 2.8 and 2.4.
Oh, 2.8. Okay.
Yes, no. two parts. There are 2 parts with 1.8 and the
1.8
third
and
part,
2.4. Okay.
And the third part is with 2.4.
Okay, thank you.
I hope I won't be the only one to play 2.4.
Right. Yes, I will also bring my 2.4.
Yeah, it's something we should announce as well, then that people can think about.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Good.
We cannot hear you, Thorsten.
Thorsten, you're muted.
Yes, thank you very much. So I will just introduce our second Japanese guest, I said, and this is Jin Rei. I'll just load a video for that. I'll let him play a bit and then just give a quick view. So this is Jin Rei, and we are very happy that he will come and he will teach the Jin Rei lineage. He's the grandson of Jin Rei himself, and he was born in Tokyo in 1980. He learned Shakuhachi from his childhood, and some of his teachers include also Aoki Rebo, Kawase Yunsuke, Yamamoto Hosan, and Tokumara Yumei. And Jin Rei, of course, was one of the great compilers of Shakuhachi music collected from the Komuzos and rearranged to go as close to the original as he could. So this what the performance we hear here is Echiko Sanya, the Mionji version from Jin Rei lineage. And Jin Rei will teach. He wanted to. It's very important for him to transmit as much as possible from the lineage. So he will teach about 10 Honkyoku, and we will also. He's also very kindly provide copies of the original notation. So so we're very happy to have him. So I just listen a few more minutes, and then we will have Emmanuelle Rouaud presentation. Thank you. And just to add, I mean, with the information I sent out about this branch, I also sent out a little text about the Jin Rei biography and summary of what he did. So you can also read here that PDF to have a bit more information about his music and legacy. Okay. So we are.
Okay. So I will start with Ukigumo. So I'm Emmanuelle Rouaud, and I will teach one Koten Honkyoku from the Kokusai Shakuhachi Kenshukan. So the name is Ukigumo, and so I'm a student of Teruo Furuya since 2013, and so this score you can now see on the screen is the notation of Teruo Furuya, who was transcribing the piece for Yokoyama Katsuya and from recording of Watazumi. So yes, you have to be used a little bit of course, of the fingering notation from this style, but I'm sure it will be provided in the material sent to you through the website. Ukigumo is the floating clouds, and it's really about finding light movements and nice tone color, and this jumping you can see between the low and upper register, but in a very smooth way. There is no so yes, it's about light movement and freedom, you know, to describe the movement of the clouds in the sky, with the wind more or less there or not. And so it's a very interesting piece. For example, all this jump of in different register you have in line 3, always, yes, this type of jump should be always very smooth. And Tero Furia was in Paris in last spring, last March, and he was again speaking about stories when he was listening listening Yokoyama sensei lesson with Watazumi and behind the door, and listening all about tone colors and this type of smooth transition, and so it was very interesting to hear that again. And in this piece, it's really about that. So I will be teaching this ukigumo. There is always the patterns we use a lot in our style, the chiru patterns. For example, line you have line 6, a bit everywhere. So it's very special fingering movements and tone color. So this is important for our style. So yes, I'm very enjoying. I think it's intermediate level, if I don't make mistake. So this will be a part of my teaching at the summer school, and maybe we could put a little bit of recording of Furia Sensei. I think I sent to you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, it gives you a little bit of a feeling of the piece, and this bit of feeling of freedom and very light movement in this piece. Okay, so this one part of my teaching. Otherwise, I will be presenting the Vague d'élan, waves and motions from a French composer I'm working with for a while now, and so it's the piece was written in 2014, and we premiered in 2015 first, and I think it's interesting. It's not so difficult to approach, because well, I did a Japanese notation also, like you can see, to follow, and there is no very complex contemporary technique, but there is, of course, like if you see the first line, the last bar, for example, you have this type of quarter tone, this type of things, but very something we know about when we practice shakuhachi, because it's so it's quite common in our ears to use these microtones. There is, well, a lot of how can I say that? A lot about different type of vibrato. And also tone color, because all the MIDI notes, it depends of the phrase, but of course, it depends of what sounds you want to hear. So you have to make choice to find the right fingers for these MIDI notes. So it's very interesting for that also to explore that. Technique, there is some trills and glissando and things, a lot, some bisbigliando, also cara cara, this type of things, changing the tone color of the notes, not trills, but and a little bit of high register, but not crazy. In this piece, it's really, we stay in the 2 octaves and a little bit more, but so very melodic compared to other piece of Henri Algadaf. It was the first piece he was written for Shakuhachi, and so it's very interesting. I would love to share that with you. For this workshop, I will have the guitar part recorded, and we could play together, with the recording of the guitar part. So interesting also. And there is this cadenza in the middle part to explore also tone color, changing of fingers to on the same notes. And so it would be lovely to see you at this workshop to share this new music, even if now it's already 10 years old, but yes. And maybe a little bit of sound, or at the very beginning. It's the first recording. It was premiered in 2015, I think, the recording I sent. A few seconds of the beginning, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, so this is it for De Vague et d'Élan, and I think I have a small slot about anime music, because I'm part of this show, Naruto Ciné Concert, for a while now, so I was thinking it's maybe nice to have a small slot with that. I will compile the best known tunes of Naruto, Shippuden, and to play together, and maybe in duet, or I did that for Dublin 23, I think, and it was funny. So it will be nice. It's very nice tunes, simple. 1.8. If somebody has a 1.6, it can be very nice also. And that's it for my participation in Athens 26. I don't know if you have a question.
Thank you very much. If there's any questions. Anybody? Okay.
Okay. See you there.
Okay. I just wanted to Horacio. Because can you hear me? I was just wondering if it would be okay because you had to leave at 12. I think you said. Or?
Yes, if it's possible, yes, but I can stretch a little bit more if needed.
No, because I can play Jim's video after you if you know.
Okay.
If you want to do now, then I play the video after, and then you don't have to stress or something.
Perfect. Thank you. I will have to share a screen if it's possible.
Sure. I guess so.
Okay. Yes. Material. Okay. Hello. My name is Horacio Curti. I am based in Barcelona, and I am Kokusai Shakuhachi Kenshukan player. I was educated in Japan under Kakisakai Kaoru sensei, and this time I will be teaching Keisuke Honkyoku, 3 different things, different levels. If you see, there are different length of time dedicated to each of the pieces. All the pieces will be worked with KSK notation that will be provided. Also, I will provide a fingering chart for those of you who are not familiar with this and want to go through that with time. And finally, also recording for each of the pieces. We are going to be working on all these pieces with 1.8. This is the idea. As you see, the time is quite brief for the pieces, as usually is the case in these kinds of events. So we will see how many of us are there and the best way to deal with this material. Today I will just do a kind of overview of things for you to know my approach to things. Then I will be teaching improvisation. I will say something in a few moments about this. It says mixed level because this is not so much as related to techniques, abilities, but more like approach to things. Then a session on technique tips. I will also mention something now. And then an introduction to Shakuhachi, I think is absolute beginners. I think it's named on the schedule, which is of course for people who has no knowledge of the instrument. And finally, some individual lessons. So, as mentioned before, I will provide these materials, and we will work from KSK notation with 1.8. Regarding improvisation, the idea for me is, okay, to understand that there are many ways of understanding improvisation, to see eye to eye from where we are going to be working, which in my case, if I have to summarize it, will be working from sound as a difference to working from melodic patterns or working from harmonic progressions or these kind of things. So tone color will be central on this, and the idea is to talk a little bit about this, but also to do some exercises and to share some exercises that we can all take home and some tips as how to work with this. Of course, once again, this is just an approach to my way of understanding improvisation. Not saying that this is the only way to do improvisation. Then technique tips. So this is based on the idea that the main things happen in our practice. So how can we get better in our practices? So my idea is to share some thoughts that I have learned from my sensei, some others that I have developed myself, some others that some colleagues had shared over time, or even some students. And some of the topics would be the organization of the practice, the body in relation to posture and to other things, trying always to be very practical approach. Then the work with sound, once again, how to relate to it through practice, the embouchure things, Meri sounds, of course, they're always there, different kinds of breathing. This is something very practical, not philosophical and not meditation oriented. It's very practical in relation to the pieces and how we can think about breathing when we are playing. And then some tools for the practice, not just tools that I could share with you, but also the use of tools, the use of elements in our everyday practice. As to absolute beginners, of course, this could be an introduction to sound production, depending on who's there, how long we have, and the possibilities of the people who are there. Try to be kind of fun approach to things. I don't know, Thorsten, if there are going to be instruments, or people who are going to be coming to this will have their own instruments already.
Well, I think it will depend. I mean, on we will have instruments there, at least PVC flutes for people who have not, and basically, yeah.
Okay, cool. And then I will be part of the individual lessons, and the idea with this, I will be bringing my 2.4 as well as my 1.8. If somebody is interested on this, can count on that. And the idea will depend, this is tailored for the student interest. So my first question when we do this in some of these events is, okay, what would you want? My concept is to have a little bit of time to think and to practice and to talk and to share about the interest of the person who is there. I believe this is still not there as a schedule of the individual lessons, right, Thorsten?
No, it's there for everybody. Yeah.
But they will have to sign up.
Well, I think what we will do is, create awareness again that it's happening and all the participants more clear. But I think we will only choose once we start the summer school to choose the slots. But I think it's we have to think about the fairest way how to do it really. And people should of course then become quite prepared for this rather short time. But we will announce that and we will discuss that first. What is the best, fairest way to do that? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Personally, I think this is very, very nice to have these slots with teachers on one-on-one, and which each of us could take some things that are interest ourselves, because sometimes this interest can find a place in a group class, but sometimes they can't because the group class has kind of a specific purpose. So I think these are very nice. So I like to be part of that. So that is an overview of what I will be doing, maybe some images of things I will be using, exercises, but this is about it. I don't know if there's any question?
Yeah, please, people.
Dimitris is saying that he has many 1.8 should somebody might need them. I understand for the absolute beginners approach.
Yeah, and there will be, and also the absolute beginners. This is with the definitions, of course, it's literally for the people. We hope there will be people from Greece who coming and explore, of course, from the music schools we contacted and etc. But it's also, people maybe 6 months, 1 year. It depends always how you do. Maybe you're elementary, but you still want to go to the beginner's lesson to catch up on something fundamental. That is also okay, of course.
Yes, one thing maybe I didn't mention, I am teaching one piece which is elementary level, one Honkyoku, which is of course very basic, but in a way it should require the ability of being able to do something regarding Meri sounds. So at least in my case, this would be kind of sort of a line. Okay, how you measure if somebody is able to do that, to deal with it or not? I wouldn't say that to do it perfectly, but to have got into that material and be able to do something on that regard. If somebody cannot produce or is new to that, maybe will not fit on that, and as Thorsten mentioned, could work on a kind of beginner's level.
Yeah, exactly. And you can look at the schedule on the website to see on what day and what early in the morning or afternoon, which teacher does the beginners, as well. Because of course, although it's a beginner's course, but every teacher brings its own approach, flavor. Also, maybe because of the style they're teaching, so that's so you can of course go to different ones, and it's And is there any questions for Horacio now? Or
Okay, so I stay a couple of minutes until I need to go. Thank you, Thorsten, for the...
Yeah, thank you, Horacio. Great. You joined us.
Everyone.
So we will then continue, and so I will play Jim Franklin, who is in Japan, for a while now, and he sent a video to show us his contributions to the summer school. So one moment. And after Jim's video, which is roughly 10 minutes, then we still have, of course, Philip Horan and Yerasimos, our local organizer, who will talk about the Greek element as well. So you should not miss that. Jim.
This is Jim Franklin coming to you from near Lake Biwa in Japan. The time zones don't really work out, so this is why I'm presenting via a pre-recorded video. In fact, while you're watching this, I'm probably getting ready to go to bed. In Athens at the summer school, I'll be teaching in two main areas, as well as contributing to beginner sessions. The first area is Chikuho Honkyoku, Honkyoku from the Chikuho school. I studied the Chikuho repertoire with Riley Lee before I later studied KSK material with Riley and also with Yokoyama sensei and Furuya sensei in Japan. I'll be teaching two pieces, Yamato Choshi, which is an elementary piece. It's one of the basic Honkyoku, and a piece that I actually usually play as part of my daily practice routine as a warm-up piece. It's nevertheless an interesting piece and has a few little tricks that are worth knowing. So it's not just an extremely simple piece, but it does have some little corners to it that are of interest. The second piece that I'll be teaching is actually one of my favorite Honkyoku in the Chikuho repertoire, Hokyo Koku, Phoenix Call Koku. This is an intermediate to advanced piece, and it's actually quite unusual. Its origins are a bit obscure. No one quite knows exactly when and how it originated, but it contains melodic material and patterns of notes that are actually quite unusual particularly in the Chikuho Honkyoku, but in other schools as well. So it's an interesting piece to know, and in my opinion, a very beautiful piece. So that's the second piece that I'll be teaching. Just so that you know what the style is, here is a short sound example of a recording of mine of Hokkyo Koku from one of my CDs. The second area in which I'll be teaching at the summer school is, in a sense, a contrast to Shakuhachi, Hongyoku, but then again, in my opinion, not necessarily a total contrast. I'll be teaching Shakuhachi together with live electronics. This is an area that I've worked with a lot and have made several CDs of, as well as a lot of concert performances, where I combine the Shakuhachi, an acoustic instrument, with live electronics, which I either use as processing of the shakuhachi signal or as electronic instruments which I play simultaneously with the shakuhachi. My intention in particular is working with one performer doing both areas, although it's also possible, of course, to combine two performers, one performer playing electronics and one performer playing shakuhachi, and I hope to be able to demonstrate that as part of the summer school as well. In teaching this, I'll be teaching 3 sessions. The first one is an introduction showing basic concepts and talking about basic ideas and considerations about how to use shakuhachi with electronics, or electronics with shakuhachi. And this will, of course, include demonstrations of how it can work. The second session will be for participants who wish to take first steps to performing with shakuhachi and electronics. Either people who have already worked in this way and are bringing their own equipment, whatever that may be, sound processors, computer, iPad, iPod, synthesizers, whatever, or for people who don't have access to that equipment but would like to experiment, I'll be providing a laptop which is running a piece of software, freeware software called PD, Pure Data, which is a sound processing environment. So I'll create a simple instrument that people can experiment with. This will be available for download from the Athens website as part of the teaching materials for participants. The third session will be detailed workshopping and a masterclass. with people who are interested in taking this first experiment to a next stage, and in particular would be aiming at the possibility of performing a piece with shakuhachi and live electronics in the student concert on the final day of the summer school. Participation in this block of teaching will be either the first session only, or the first two, or all three. It won't really be possible to jump in to join for just sessions 2 and 3, because I want people to understand the background beforehand. As I've said, it's going to be possible for people who want to participate in this to bring their own equipment if they want, or there will be a computer provided. The software, as I've also noted, will be available, that is my instrument created in the software, for download, and I will also be providing installers for that software, which will run on Apple machines, Windows machines, or Linux machines as well. So it's, there's a lot of options about what machines that can run on. So that you know what the area is that we're talking about, here is a little example of a short piece for shakuhachi and live electronics, which I actually created for the 2026 ESS Online New Year's concert. This is a cut-down version of a more sophisticated piece, cut down so that the audio is more or less compatible with the limitations of Zoom audio. So therefore it gives a little bit of an impression, but it's not the complete piece in the way I originally intended it. The complete version is available on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, which I'll include as a subtitle. So thank you for listening to this short presentation. I hope to see you in Athens, if not in some of my classes, then at least as participants at the summer school. Looking forward to it. Bye.
Thank you. And there's also a little text in the chat, a couple of things that Jim wanted to share there. And Well, I mean, there's no really, we can't ask him the questions now. So, but if there are questions, we can, please let us know at the ESS. And so we have to move swiftly on, not to keep somehow in our time limits. Philip, Horan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. So, can I share a screen?
Yeah, one moment.
Okay.
And not to rush you, but we have about 10 minutes and then another 10 minutes for Yerasimos. Okay.
Okay. So I'll mostly be teaching Tozan Honkyoku. I have a very short just presentation in case anyone is not familiar with the Tozan school. So let me find again where's the share again? I'm trying to find where the share screen is.
At the bottom should be a share
At the bottom,
option.
yeah, okay. I see share. Hold on. Oh, okay. Let's come in now. Okay. 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 So, the Tozan school was founded by Nakao Tozan. His family owned a business and property. His mother was a Koto and Koku teacher. So that's where his kind of he gained an interest in the Shakuhachi. So he did join the ranks of the Komuso, and but shortly after that, he, in order to earn a living, he started to teach. He composed his first Honkyoku Kogetsucho in 1902. He also published a Shakuhachi tutor in 1898. One of the pieces I'll be teaching is called Seigaiha. This he composed in 1904, very much in response to the Japan-Russian War. So there is a kind of theme of war and peace in my in the Honkyoku I've chosen. So this Seigaiha is a patriotic composition, and it contains the Japanese national anthem Kimigayo in the final section. He also became, it was very popular at the time for Shakuhachi to play with violin and other Western instruments. So Tozan published various popular scores for violin of Japanese songs and Japanese traditional pieces. He also made arrangements of sankyoku for Shakuhachi. Tozan was very he was influenced a lot by Western music, and we know that he studied scores like this this violin score here, which this is how he kind of learned how to write in a harmonic manner and using kind of counterpoints and different Western ideas of form and other aspects of Western music. He is very. This picture here shows him with Miyagi Michio. This is Tozan here with Miyagi Michio. He's known to have collaborated a lot with composers like Miyagi Michio and Hisamoto Genshi. So Tozan's Honkyoku includes some duets and trios, as well as some solo pieces. He also, I think I mentioned all that, and Some of the Tozan Hankyoku are also composed by his pupils and successors. So I'll just go out of the share screen now. Hold on. Okay, I'm in the wrong window. Okay. Sorry, I've lost my I've lost where I am. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna shut down the key now. Hold on.
Philip, you want to share a file now, or?
I meant to, but I don't think I did.
No, because you're sharing your desktop rather than sharing a PDF or something.
Yeah, did it not show up on it? It doesn't matter anyway. It doesn't matter. It was just for some visual photographs, so it doesn't matter if people didn't see the photographs. I think they got the gist of
the
presentation. Sorry about that. So just to show you some of the scores. So this is kind of one of the Hankyoku that we will be doing, Asakaze. So there's different versions of scores. Some of them are like this, they're quite bare. And then there are different versions that contain more directions around different types of ornamentation and particularly different types of vibrato. I will be sharing it will be available with the scores. I will be sharing kind of a brief guide to the different types of ornamentation that are used in these pieces. There's lots of different types of ornamentation used in the Tozan Hankyoku, but this one-page guide contains, I think, all the ornamentation that would be needed for the pieces I will teach. So, as I said, one of the pieces I will teach is Seigaiha. This is starts off with a solo piece, and then it has a duet. In the kind of one, I think there's only an hour and a quarter to teach this. I don't think there'll be time to teach the duet parts. We might get to play through it once at the end, but the focus will be on the solo parts. Maybe just as a brief illustration of the Tozan style, I'll just play the first 4 bars of it. I'll first just play it without the ornamentation, and then I'll play the second time with the ornamentation and vibrato, just to show illustrate the style a bit better. Okay, so I'll try to play it as straight as possible first time. Okay, at this time I'll add the typical Tozan ornamentation. so that's the opening of Seigaiha. The other pieces I will be teaching include Honkyoku by the called Fuji by the current head of the Shin Tozan Ryu, and it's a piece that mostly uses the basic Rotsu Reichi Ha in Tozan instead of Ri. So it doesn't use that many merry notes, so it's suitable for kind of below intermediate level. And oh yeah, the other main piece I'll be teaching is it's called Heiwa no Sanga, and this is a piece. I think it's the last Honkyoku that Tozan composed, and it's very much about, in contrast to Seigaiha, which is very much about, it's very patriotic and about the war. This piece is Tozan's response to a visit he made to Hiroshima after the bombing, and so this is kind of very much a plea for peace, and it's a duet, and it's a very beautiful and calm piece. So in addition to that, they're the Honkyoku that I'll be teaching. I'll also be doing a fun workshop on film themes for Shakuhachi. This will be multiple, maybe 10 or 15 different well-known film themes arranged for 3 or 4 Shakuhachi. So, and I will have options for people to play some parts in 1.6 and 2.4 if people bring those as well. And then the last workshop I'll be doing is a workshop on Irish music, and this will be very much about people joining in and playing. I'll have a few tunes, so I will focus on a particular ornament that's used in Irish music. It's called a cram, and it sounds like this. So it just means we'll be practicing this on different notes, and so when this ornament is used on a ri or a ha in Tozan, we can use koro koro. So so I'll just play you one of the tunes that we'll be learning. It's called we will start off and learn it slowly without the ornamentation, and then we'll add the ornamentation in. So I'll just play through this to finish off. This is called the pipe on the hob. That's it.
Okay.
So if there's any questions.
Thank you. There's any questions? Okay. I mean, we will have one more presentation. I just wanted to sum up for the program for now. because, like Philip was explaining, he's teaching Tosan, and of course at the summer school we always have tried to have many styles. So we had the Kinkuru Shikumeisha, we had of course the Jin Yodo, we had the Shikuhu, and Tosan, and also because Kiko is not there today, we have to stress there's also, she will be teaching Zensabo style, and she will be teaching the Meoan style as well. So we will have plenty of different schools present. And we will also have these talks. And actually, Philip's Irish slot will be a talk, a presentation. And we'll also have a presentation talk about the Uedaru from Aro Havisto, because Aro will also help us do translation during the summer school. And and now I just thank you for still being here. And we have the Yerasimos, our local organizer in Greece, who will tell us a bit about. You're here?
Hello everybody. My name is Yerasimos Dimovasilis. I'm a student of Gunnar Linder, and I teach the Tsikumeisa Kinkoryu style in Greece. But now in the summer school I will present two Greek music. So I try to combine the Greek music with the Shakuhachi. And for this reason, the first music that I chose is a Byzantine hymn. So it's from the Orthodox chanting tradition. It's a very old hymn which is supposed to be chanted in Hagia Sophia before the fall of Constantinople in 1453. And it is considered like a masterpiece of Byzantine music. It's composed by Emmanuelle Rouaud. And I chose this piece of music because I think it has a strong connection with the Honkyoku tradition that we play. In both cases, the sense of time slows down and the mind becomes more focused, and there is a strong feeling of sacredness. So this hymn is actually a hymn that is chanted in the Divine Liturgy, but here together with the melody of the voice, because Byzantine music is only chanted, we will have the Shakuhachi to play the same melody as the chanting. And in this context there will be a friend of mine who chants in the church, who will be with us, and we will play, and she sings in the workshop, so we feel this the same feeling like when it is chanted in the church, and we share the meditative quality of the chant. And this hymn, actually the lyrics, in summary, they invite the faithful to leave behind every thoughts and worldly concerns and prepare themselves to receive the divine. I will share the screen to play a short sample of this of a recording that I made with Marina, the friend who will be with us, which actually I will upload in the ESS Summer School page later on, because this is a first try to record and there will be a newer one. So let's see. this was a short sample. Just one moment. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. This was a short sample of the first piece of music that I will teach. The second one, just a moment. Yeah, the second one is a traditional Greek song which is called Triantafylia. It means rose bush. It's a traditional folk song from Macedonia, north of Greece. And the main characteristic of this piece, except from its beautiful melody, is that it is in 7/8 rhythm, which is very unusual for the shakuhachi. So I think it offers a very interesting opportunity for learning and expanding our rhythmic feeling in music. And in the lesson we will also have a live accompaniment with santur and singing, again by Marina Constantinou, the same friend who will be in the previous piece of music with us. So we learn the piece phrase by phrase and actually listen to the song as it is traditionally sung and performed with santur in Greece, and then we play all together and have this feeling of how Greek music actually feels and sounds like. This song has a basic melody, but on this workshop we will explore several variations of the basic melody, and when these variations are combined they make a full musical piece, and also some of them combined together can make a first and second voice, so a duet can be created. We see how depending on the time how we can do this, and maybe divide in teams and play both voices. And the lyrics of the song actually say about describe a rose bush where the birds build their nest, and the birds go in and out, and the rose bush is very alive, but then the rose bush sways and the roses fall into the bride's apron. So actually it's also a song about marriage and creating a new family. And again I will share and play a short clip of a recording I made. Okay, so this was the second sample, and I don't know if there are any questions or any comments that you would like to discuss.
Yeah, please. This is the final presentation from our co-organizer. So any question about specific or in general, that's the chance.
Hello, Yerasimos.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to meeting you. Even after these conditions, unfortunately, I have technical problems, so you cannot see my face. I would like to ask you 3 questions. One is if you're interested in the meditative sounds. A second question is if you're interested in combining traditional sounds like the sounds of clarinet, especially the Ipirotico Miroloi. And the third is if you're accepting students. Thank you.
Can you please repeat the first question?
The first question is if you're interested in meditative sounds and tones. Do you want me to repeat the other 2?
No.
Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Actually, I'm a sound healer, so I work a lot with healing sound and meditative sound. I have many instruments that I play in this way, and also the Shakuhachi is something that I chose for this reason. But it was very interesting for me to combine especially Byzantine music with the Shakuhachi. And about the second question, the clarinet, actually when I started to learn wind instrument, I wanted to choose between the flute and the clarinet, so that I love a lot the clarinet. I think it's very expressive, but then the flute won my love, and then I also moved to the Shakuhachi, and it would be a pleasure if both clarinet and Shakuhachi can be combined together and play together, maybe as duet or whatever. If you play clarinet, you can also bring in the summer school, and we try. We will also have a jam session the last day on Sunday at a local tavern nearby, and we will play and improvise or play songs, Greek music. There will be some Greek musicians with us, and we play all together. So if you play clarinet, of course you can. You are very welcome to bring, and we play all together. And about the third question, actually, I'm not very close to folk music, to Greek folk music. So I have heard this kind of music and Ipirotico Miroloi, as you say, but I'm not really into that. So also for the Triandafilya song that I will teach, the work and the arrangement was done a lot with a friend, Marina, who is a professional in playing and learning this kind of traditional music. So yes, I'm interested, but I don't know a lot about the music from Epirus. And you also asked about lessons. Yes, I have students in Athens. I actually live in Pilio. It's not very close to Athens, but I come once a month to give lessons and for other reasons. So I come to Athens, and I accept students, of course.
Okay, great. Are you providing lessons through the internet?
Yes, also through Zoom.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. That's a great incentive for me to join the summer school, and I hope to see you there. Thank you again.
You're welcome. Nice to meet you.
Great. So, well, is there any other questions for the moment, or just praises or things you're really looking forward to, or things you think we should still include? Well,
if I may, and again, without wanting to take over the discussion here, I would be interested if it would be possible for someone to buy a bamboo piece and through your guidance learn some tips on how to make one's own piece and instrument.
Well, maybe you can write to the ESS with that specific question, because there is no quick answer to that really in terms of if you can provide bamboo and which flutes to make, and it's not easy to make a flute in 1 day or in a few days. So there is a more complex answer, Yinashi, Jiari, etc., etc. So it's I will try to answer it, but for this particular workshop in Athens, me personally, I will provide for Jiari making some ideas and the utagushi making, but you're welcome to join there and ask questions, and then we can talk about. But it's unlikely we can make a shakuhachi at the time, But with guidance before, maybe you already come with something prepared, and one can talk about it.
Well, if I may rephrase, I didn't mean to make a shakuhachi on the summer school. A question was directed personally to you. If, for example, I could order from you a bamboo piece and at the summer camp to give some advice on how to do it. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I think it's good if you contact me then directly, and we can speak about that, if it's possible or not, because this is quite specific then, yeah. But no, I mean, you're welcome. Please write to me, and let's see what's possible there.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for your interest. Okay. So I hope you got a bit of an overview for the what's happening in Athens. I mean, there's some people there already, summer school experienced, but so it was just to show a bit the specifics, and hopefully there are some people who maybe never been at a summer school and now are curious to come. And yeah, please contact the ESS with any questions. There's still the possibility for a couple of rooms we can provide for the participants for sharing. So please let us know, and we can discuss that you can book them through the ESS. And yeah. So I stopped the recording.